Okay, holding in the middle of Shir 10, at the end of simulation on Gimel, the Ramah, Sif Hey. So we're going to start from the middle of the Ramah, the Chen Hagen, by the Mem of the Magen Avram. So until now we spoke about the Isser of a guy doing anything for you on Shabbos, and we spoke about if a guy does something for you on Shabbos, what's the halacha? Yeah. If he puts it in cold, puts it in hot, if you ask him, he didn't ask him. That's what we spoke about till now. Now, says the Ramah, now that we just finished saying that a guy cannot do anything for you for Shabbos, if you look in the Magen Avram, Sifkat Mem L'chein, he gives a Hakdama Pirish. The Kivin the Aser Amir La'akim L'hachem. Since Amir La'akim is also, we just said, you can't tell a guy to warm something up for you. So since Amir La'akim is Aser to warm something up for you, Im Kain Aser Loim La'akim, and I'll tell a guy, the Hamid Tafshos from the Skar al Tanner, Shehusak. You're not tell a guy to put a Tafshos that cool down on top of a fire that's lit. So you can't do that. So now I spoke about what happens if you did do it. Well, for sure you can't do it. That's going to be the lechein. Therefore, the guy puts it on the tanner before the fire is lit. And we'll see now exactly what that heter is. So the Ramah says, the Magen Avram says, Akdama, this is what the rest of the Sif is talking about. Lechein lehagim she'akum moitzin hakaderis min hatanurim shematmina behen. They used to have the ovens where the food was put there before Shabbos. The problem is by Shabbos morning it really wasn't so hot anymore. It may have been cold. So the guy would take it out of that oven. So they used to have, besides the ovens, they had a warming furnace, like our furnaces. So the guy would take it and put it by the furnace or on top of the furnace. And then he'll turn on the furnace. And through that, the kedera would get reheated and become hot again. So what's going on over here? What's happening here is basically the guy is allowed to turn on the furnace. That's one klal you have to know. The guy is allowed to turn on the furnace because hakol cholim eitz latzina. Everyone is called a chayla, is called sick. The guy is cold. Therefore, the guy is allowed to turn on the furnace for Ayid on Shabbos, Yisrael on Shabbos. So this is if the heat is off on Shabbos in your house, the guy is allowed to turn it on for you. So then you have the issue about telling him directly, you have to be miramis to him. That's where the remiza comes in. But we're not going to get into that anymore. We're talking about if he does it, if you're allowed to be nana from it. So you're allowed to. The guy puts on the oven for you on Shabbos, puts on the furnace for you on Shabbos. It's mutter because hakal chaylim eitel atzina. Does Mr. Brewer bring it down over here? Huh? Yes. He does bring it down?
Where's the source for that?
I'll show you in a second. 1 second.
Tzadik Tet.
Mr. doesn't bring it down here, does he?
And Tzadik Tet?
Yeah, he does. In the in the Tzadik Tet, the Kol Cholim Hem.
Oh yeah.
In the parentheses.
Right. In the parentheses, he brings down in the brackets. He brings down over here. Tzadik Tet. The Hakol Cholim Eitzel Atzina Kamashal Kasav a safe simulation involved.
Right.
So the guy is allowed to turn on the fire.
Where does it say that?
Mishabura.
Oh, the Mishabura.
Sivka and Tzadik Tet. So the guy is allowed to turn on the furnace. So what do? You tell the guy. So once the furnace is on and it's going, the guy is not allowed to go ahead and take the food and put it onto the furnace. That he can't do. Because the guy is not allowed to put your food on a ready to lit fire. That he can't do, even though it's a furnace. Still it's a fire, the guy cannot take your cold food and put it onto the fire.
So what do you mean by you can benefit from it then?
From the heat? From the heat.
Okay.
From the heat that's warming up the house. It's not a problem a guy doing something for you, because hakal chayla meitzal tzina, everyone's called a chayla, and a guy is allowed to do a malacha for a chayla. That's a person who's sick, a guy could, not a mir lakim, you have to be miramez at the lakim, but a guy could do malacha for a chayla. So here he's allowed to go ahead and turn on the furnace. Once the furnace is on, the guy cannot put the pot on the furnace.
But if you put before it's
So here, what's happening here is the guy is putting it on before the furnace went on, and then he's turning on the furnace. So what's the heter over here? Here the heter is, it's called a psik ratio. Meaning, once it's on the oven, once it's on the furnace, the pot, he turns it on. Why is he turning on the furnace? He's not turning on the furnace to heat up the pot. He's turning up the furnace to heat up the house.
But it's a psik ratio.
But it's a situation that the food is also getting heated up. So a guy, by a mir la'akum, there's no issue of psik ratio. If a guy does something for you, and something else is happening, there's no issue of psik ratio by a guy. So here, the reason why he's setting on the fire is to warm up the house. A psik ratio is happening, there's warming up the pot, the food. That's not an issue. There's no issue of psik ratio by a guy. It's a famous question. If you leave something in a car on Shabbos, right, then you need it. And the guy's going to go open the car door, the light of the car door is going to go on. That's called the psik ratio. Right, you don't need it. You're not doing it for you. You're doing it to open the car door. And you don't need the light. So there's a heter. You can't do it, but a guy can do it for you.
What if you disconnected the light? Light doesn't go on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Then
you can open the door. It's not a problem. But if the light is on in the car on Shabbos, if you got something in the car, you can't go into the car to get it. You have an easy answer. Tell the guy to do it for you.
Can you tell him, like, can you tell him go into the
You
car
can tell
and
him.
get my...
You can tell him, please go to the car, get my whatever I need from the car.
Or Misa or anything? You can
No,
just
you tell straight out, because it's a psik ratio. And the psik ratio is not a problem. There's no psik ratio by a guy. There's no psik ratio.
Here in this particular case, we're assuming that the food is cold, correct?
You will see it. It's sound legamri.
He is. He's turning his...
I see the Magen Avraham says so.
So if it's
It's skara legamri. The one we just saw. L'chein noegim she'akem nois natafshul she'neskara legamri.
Because if it was still warm, there wouldn't be an issue, because then a yid could do it.
Yeah, we'll see in a second. Yeah, so it's the next halacha. There more. Yeah.
so if you have at home the furnace that closes and opens automatically, if you come before it started and put your food there.
You can't do it.
Well,
We'll see in a second.
No, I mean a goy can he go to Shabbat, put it there, not open the furnace?
Yeah. A guy could do it. A guy can even put it on the fire afterwards. We'll see if a yid could do it before the furnace turns on. That's later on. We'll get to that. But here, the reason why a guy can put it on and then turn on the oven, the guy himself can turn it on because of the psik ratio. The psik ratio is mutter by a guy. That's the halacha here. So therefore, וכן נהגנו שאקים מציין הקדש מן התנור שמטמינים הם משיבים עשן אצל תנור וזכוי ואולף ומבארץ אחר כך התנור ההוא ועל ידי זה הקדש חוזר ונתחן. אבל על ידי ישראל also בחיי גבנה. In such a case, it's also by Yisrael. Why can't Yisrael do it? Why can't Yisrael put the pot in the oven himself and then they go after to turn on the oven?
You got to be shalakim.
No, the guy anyway is turning on the oven.
No, because he knows he's going to turn it on.
So what?
So he said.
So what's the problem? What's the problem? You're not tell a guy to take the pot and put it on top of the oven, and the guy's going to turn on the oven, and then it's going to cook up the food, whatever, heat up the food. It's mutter. No problem with bishalakim. It's cooked already. Hey bishalakim, bishalakim. So the food is cooked already. So you're allowed to tell a guy to do it. Why? Because the psik ratio. Psik ratio by a guy is mutter. So why can I put it on the oven and then let the guy turn it on? Why does the guy have to be the one to put it on the oven?
Mechze?
No, it's more than a mechze. So the Magen Avraham speaks about it over here. I'll speak it outside, then we'll see the Magen Avraham inside. The Magen Avraham basically says is that am I allowed to put a pot on the fire? Am I allowed to take a pot and put it on a stove that's not lit? And you go ahead, you light the stove. Who's over on Bishul on Shabbos? Echad nosen HaKedeira, ve'echad nosen es HaTavshil, ve'echad nosen es HaEitzim, ve'echad nosen es HaEish. One guy puts the pot, one guy puts the wood, and one guy goes there and lights the fire.
Hurry, you would say the eight.
So the last guy is the one that's... But the halacha is, even the first guy was over.
Because he puts
the first guy puts the empty pot full pot of food on the stove. He doesn't do anything. Then another Yisrael comes and turns it on. It's also for the first person to put the pot on the oven also.
Okay, what's the
svara? What's the reason? I don't know offhand. But I don't want to get into it offhand. It's a Gemara. They're all being mishtadif in the bishul. They're all doing part of the Ma'aser bishul. It's not a deraisa. It's not Issa D'Oraisa.
This is a stretch, but I mean, you have a similar halacha in Bava Kama when you have one person lighting the fire, the other one has the Gadish. That doesn't.
But they're all being mistakef in the hezek.
Right. So.
Yeah.
But the question is, do you need kavana? Meaning, do you need the guy's putting it on the stove? Because if it takes a party, he knows the stove is off. He just okay, I finished eating.
That's fine.
No, some asking, so you need.
He's doing it for that. Yeah, he's doing it for that. He's doing it because he knows the next guy is going to light the fire. Echad noisen as a gedera, and echad noisen as a tafshel, echad noisen as a eish. They're all awesome. None of them could do it. So now, Pshat the Magram is like this. So one person puts the pot. Yisrael puts the pot, and the guy goes ahead and lights the fire. So for the guy, there's no problem of psik ratio. For the Yisrael, there's a problem of psik ratio. So even though I can tell a guy to put the pot on the oven, and he's going to light it, and it won't be an issue for him because psik ratio by guy is mutter. But if I put the kedera on the fire, on the stove before the fire is lit, and then the guy lights the fire, for me, it's considered observation. So for me, it's as if I put a pot on a stove, and someone went ahead and lit the stove, not the furnace. Am I not put a pot on the stove, and someone should go ahead after light the stove? No. Is awesome.
But he says here,
but
he says in Mem Aleph that Harishon Patu.
Once we'll get to it in a second.
So, but that's a different din of psik ratio because now you've got two people involved. Usually psik ratio is if I do a ma'aseh,
right,
and then as a result of my action, something's going to happen.
Right. So here you got two different. So let me ask you a question. I put a pot on the stove, and you did a psik ratio. Am I chayiv? Whatever. Am I also? I'm also also because your psik ratio is considered psik ratio.
If you
right? It's considered like you did it.
But if you did it accidentally, you carry the pot, you forget you light it.
We're doing it purposely. So here you have an interesting case. You have the guy lights the fire and he warms up the pot. Observation for a guy is mutter. If Yisrael puts the pot on the stove and then a guy puts it on, so b'negei the Yisrael, it's considered a psik ratio. So it's as if it was lit the stove directly to warm up the pot. That's why it's also for Yisrael to do it. Also in the Magen Avraham inside.
And it would be the same case if let's say it went on automatically.
We'll get to automatically in a second. There's no automatic. This is talking about what you guys did. We'll get to automatically. The questions today with timers. We'll get to that soon. Let's just get this halacha straight. Then we'll get to the automatically.
The fact that no one speaks about that this is not the way of cooking. This is not derech bishul by a base by a ton of base chayrev.
We'll see. We'll get to that. It's still awesome. If you put your food in any oven is awesome. Even if it's a place where you don't cook at all. I know people want to come from here and say it's a heter to put it onto the hot plates because hot plates you don't cook on. From here you see
before by maziva that
we'll get to maziva in a second. Yeah, we'll get to maziva in a second. Magamah speaks about maziva in Mem Gimel. We'll get to maziva in a second. What heter is on maziva? From here you see that even though it's not a place where you cook, it's not a place where you cook. There's a problem. That's you see it clear from this halacha. And we'll see in a second the Mishnah Berurah how far he goes. How much this is not a place to cook. The Mishnah Berurah says the reason why it's not a psik ratio, the reason why it's called a psik ratio only, is because in these ovens you never put food there. So when you're lighting it, even though the guy is putting the pot there and he's turning on the oven, why did he put the pot there originally for? Because you want the food to get hot. So why is it called a psik ratio? It's not a psik ratio. You're doing it to warm up the pot. The answer is no. When you turn on this oven, this furnace is meant to warm up a house. Period. Nothing else. A pot there is automatically a secondary thing. But if it's a place where sometimes you put a pot, says the Mishnah Berurah, it's not called a psik ratio. That's worse. It's as if you lit the fire to warm up the pot. So you see over here, this furnace is a place where you never ever put a pot. And still it's also. We'll get to the Mishnah Berurah in a second. Let's see the Magen Avraham inside. Aidei Yisrael Aser, Mem Aleph. Aidei Yisrael Aser, to have like echad noisen akadera of echad noisen or. One person puts on the pot, and one person puts the fire. They're rishayim potter aval aser. That's chayim in their eyes, but it's also to do it. Masha'enke by mir la'akim deshari. When you tell a guy to do it, it's mutter. Why? To ikki kavanasam l'chama abayis. The main kavanah of a goy is to warm up the house, the oven. The shari, which Kotel says similar to involve. Which here it says in Mefurish. That's what the Mishabur, the Magen Avraham says it. So Eki kavanah l'chama abayis the shari. It's mutter for the goy to warm up the house. Which Kotel says similar involve, which is the reason of because hakol choy le'meitzal tzina. V'af to have a psikration l'gabi atavshil. Even though it's a psikration for the tavshil, l'kam makayim. By mir la'akim like abdin and kulahai. By mir la'akim we're not makbid on a psikration. By Yitzav Simen, by Yitzav Sif Aleph, which we had already before psikration by a goy. But Simen Shin Dal Yitzav Sif Aleph, Bashakos Hafti. Umizeh says the Magen Avraham, nearly heter shem nasen akum mayim l'toich ha'gdeira. They used to have, we spoke about this already in the beginning of the Simen. They used to have a pot in the like you look in the old picture books. Now they have those big pots on top of it. Always stayed in on top of the fire. You always had that pot. Now to be no water in the pot would break. So you always had to have water in that pot in order that the pot shouldn't break. So it says if the guy puts water into the pot that's in the oven that always stays there, when the water got warm, the Yisrael can use the hot water to kavachaymehi. It's a kavachayme. Why? In our case, when you're putting it on the tanner, you put the pot there because you wanted to warm it up. Still, it's called a psikration. Why? Because the main thing of lighting the oven is to warm up the house. Here, his kavanah wasn't at all to warm up the water. His kavanah was that the pot shouldn't break. Now he says, this is if the guy put the water in order that the pot shouldn't break. It's a sure mutter to use the water because it's a obsecration by a guy's mutter. His kavanah wasn't for the water. His kavanah was for the pot. His kavanah was to warm up the house. It's mutter. Now he says, even if the guy put the water after the fire was lit. Till now we spoke about, the guy puts it in and then he lights the fire. In the case of the water in the pot, even if the guy puts the water after the fire was lit, it could be the shari, the tamshah kasafti. Because the reason I just say it was a psikration, he never had a mind to cook up the water, he only had a mind that the pot shouldn't break. They had a mind to warm up the water. I much accept the simulation of Dalit, like much cut to say for Tal Iris, lesser to Tal Iris answers that case and his matter. Now in this case, you can't tell a guy to put the water in the pot. But if the guy did it, it's mutter, it's only a psikration that the water is getting warm. The guy is doing it that the pot shouldn't break. So anytime the guy does it for a different reason, and there's a side gain of it, which is the water is getting hot, it's a psikration about the guy is mutter.
You can tell the guy and make sure the pot doesn't break.
You can tell the guy, make sure the pot doesn't break. You can tell the guy to put the water in, that the pot shouldn't break, and then if the water gets warm, you're not to use it because it's a psikration. Our Yisrael also litin amayim. Now it's like this: a Yisrael is not allowed to put the water even before the fire was lit. The same thing, this tafshil. A Yisrael is not allowed to put the tafshil on top of the furnace even before the furnace was lit. Why? To have a psik reishay. It's a psik reishay. What does that mean? What's the psik reishay? The Yisrael is not doing it. The guy is doing it. The answer is, even though there's no psik reishay for a guy's action, but the same action of the guy in relation to a Yisrael who's also to do it, it's called a psik reishay. So that's why the Yisrael cannot put the pot on the oven even before the guy lit the furnace. Miyu, says the Magen Avraham, when the kelim are dirty, full of shumin, they have fats in it, nearly the also lishbach reis chamalayim, you can't pour hot water on it. We'll see this in Siman Shin, you tches more, there's another issue. When you take the hot water and you pour it onto the shumin, is an issa noilid. You're melting the fats, and that's an issa noilid. We'll get to it in Siman Shin and Ches. U'mashem ma'araf mitzasi kosef shemuter, it's muter, kimish eine mechaven el tzachtzachon. The Maraf, the Rebbeinu Peretz, says it's mutter, even though there's an issue of noilid. Says here you don't have a mind to make noilid. You don't have a mind to melt the shumin. You have a mind to clean the pot, the dish. Therefore, it's mutter v'linira she'inich ha'kli techamayim v'layera alayim. You should just put the kli into the water and don't pour the hot water on top of it. And we'll see in Semicha there is more of a heter. You now take hot water according to the Magen Avram and pour it directly onto the fats, because then you're melting the fats. But if you have a fatty plate, you want to dip it into hot water and leave it there the Magen Avram is matter, and we'll see in Semicha what the difference is. That's what the Magen Avram says. So Bekitzer, quickly, a guy who puts a pot onto the furnace and then turns on the furnace is mutter because it's a psigration for a guy that's mutter. A Yisrael who puts it on to the furnace, he's not allowed to do it even if the guy is reliant afterwards, because for the Yisrael it's called a psigration. Now let's say the Mishnah Berurah is very important. Mishnah Berurah.
Well, 1 second. So why can't the guy even put it on after you put on the fire, or he can?
No, when the guy puts it on after the fire is lit,
yeah,
it's not a psigration.
He's
put it in a chachila.
Right. Okay.
Here, when he's turning it on, it's a psigration.
Right.
So if you look in the Mishnah Berurah here, I'm bringing this out. I'm bringing this to your attention because you see from this Mishnah Berurah how this heter that everybody gives at a hot plate, it's not derech levashloi, is mutter. Put it on. Well, see, that's this halacha.
It's a hecker. I mean, that's a rubber.
That's this halacha. You're putting it.
He said basically because the hot plate is not.
It's not meant to cook.
Right.
But the question is, this halacha is, you're putting it on a place that's not meant to cook, and still it's asa. We'll see. So maybe here it's asa because it's cooking. We'll see in a second. The next halacha. So look. So if you look at the Mishnah Berurah, Sifkan Tzadi Daled, Tzadi Tes, there's a da in the middle. There's a da the kol zeh ba'ayvelach.
Yeah.
1 second.
It's
Tzadi Tes.
4, 5, 6, 7 lines. The 7th long line.
It says a da the kol zeh ba'ayvelach. See, it became the word ayvelach. So Mishnah Berurah says like this: the da the kol zeh ba'ayvelach shebetana be'sachayif. The ayvelach was the furnaces. Shalanu she'ein derech levashel b'chol belmayla gabe atana. You never cook on this oven. The kach nuchel loimed ein iker kavana ha'ein Yehudi behesik rak lechamim habayis v'loy levashel ha'gdei she'emnis belmayla. Therefore, you could call it a psigration. He's not doing it lechatchila for that. He's doing it to warm the house. The pot happens to be is getting warmed also. Aval tanurim shekoyim engel shekichin, which is a different type of furnace they had. Shederach hakoil levashel v'choil al gabeim el mayla. People would cook on these engel shekichin, even though it's to warm the house, but they would also cook on top of it. Isir gomer yesh bezer lahamad amaychel lechamad de'en Yehudi. Afil kaydem asaka. On that, it's also for a guy to do it. Why? Tevadai kavonas en Yehudi behesik achar kach gam b'shvil b'shel ha'kederis. Even for the kederis. Why? So the whole head to here of situation is because when the guy is lighting this furnace, there's no intention for the pot. Even though they put the pot in to warm up, but it's not called a maisa of warming up the pot. Because when you light that furnace, it's meant to warm up the house. It happens to be there's a pot on top of it. But in a place where there's a oven, that you do keep pots there during the week, then a guy can't do it. Right? So this halacha, according to the Mishnah Berurah, is talking about what? It's talking about putting a pot on top of a place where you never ever put a pot there during the week. That's what you should know from this halacha. Now, this is all a goy. Let's see back to the Ramah. Aval, if the pots are still hot, so mutter lahamidan eitzel tana beisachayev. If the pot is still warm, you take it out, it's still warm. Says the Ramah, a Yisrael, even a Yisrael is allowed to take it out and put it eitzel tana beisachayev next to it. You can't put it on top of it. Next to it, you're allowed to put it. Why? Why are you allowed to put it next to the Ramah Vaita? There's a daim chamin, right? If the gdeir is still warm, mutter la'amidem eitzel tana beisachayev, you're allowed to put it next to it. Why ma'achesh nisbair? We said before the tanurim shalanu yesh lahem din kira. Our tanurim have a din like a kira, not like a tanur. V'smicha b'kira she'ein a group of v'ktuma, kedin group of v'ktuma le'inyan nesin aleh. Putting something on next to a fire, an oven, as any gar v'katim, is as if you put it on a gar v'katim. So smicha to this tana beis hachayrif is as if you're returning it to a gar v'katim, and chazara on a gar v'katim is mutter. So Yisrael is allowed to take the pot out of the oven and put it eitzel, not olav, eitzel next to the tana beis hachayrif, because that's basically what he's doing. He's putting it on a mokum that's called gar v'katim. וכבר נסבר שנוהגו להוקל בחזרה בשבס אפילו ניחא גבי קרקע והוא הדין לסמך לטענה שאין הגורף וקוטם כדאי בסמיכת הויל והקדרה עדיין חם ומבושל כל צורכי וכן המיניג פשוט להטה. So the Ramah says to take this pot and put it next to the Tana Beis HaChayv is mutter because our tanurim have done like a kira, and a kira, a gabi garif v'kotum, chazara is mutter. That's what the Ramah is saying. So it's refers to the Ramah, for you saw to take it and put it on top of this Tana Beis HaChayv, it's also.
Yes.
It's also. On the side, you're not allowed to put it. On top, you're not allowed to put it. So according to the Mishnah Berurah, at least where he learns it, it's refers to the Ramah, that to put something on the oven that you never cook during the week is awesome. I'm stressing this point because we're speaking about it at the end of the simon, and I don't know how you get around this. I don't know how you get around this. The ones that are matter to put something directly, the sinner lechatchila, on a hot plate because you don't cook there during the week, it's not like this Ramah. This Ramah says mefurish. A Beis HaChayv, where you never put a pot there during the week, the sinner lechatchila is awesome. Chazara on a gar of a katum is mutter.
Well, you can easily make a chiluk because Tanur B'Nachop, its use, first of all, its use is basically
to heat the house.
As a furnace. It's
right.
not. It's not used. It isn't. It's just a furnace.
Right.
Right. Whereas, let's say if you have a hot plate, the hot plate is actually, well, what are you doing? You're basically covering, but you're not. It isn't as though you're. What are you doing with a hot plate? You're actually covering your own tunnel. A tunnel where you usually cook. Whereas here with the furnace, that is basically its prime use.
But you have to have gar of katum.
What?
You have to, even if you have gar of katum, the sinner lechatchila is also.
Makes it worse for us.
Right.
It makes it worse. Yeah, the sinner lechatchila is also. On even a radiator, right? You want to say radiator is mutter, right? Some people, I heard the Ramesh is matter radiator, right? The Ramesh is matter radiator, and you have to look in the Shuvah. That's a portion is matter radiator. That may be like kind of a chayrev, and it's he goes through it over there. Look inside. That's a portion is matter radiator. Because you can't even cook there sometimes. It's get that hot that you cook there. You can't say a place that you don't put a pot there is mutter. Moshe does not say a radiator is mutter. You know why? Because the place where you never cook, it's not a setter. Look inside the shuvah. That's a portion that is matter radiator.
No, but the heter which was here with
for the hot plates,
Rabbi is saying isn't because of the place that I don't usually cook there. It's just because it's such a different heker.
Because maybe it's
such a different heker.
Yeah, but what does it have to do?
That isn't used at all for anything, for any cooking, for whatsoever. I mean, it isn't even considered.
So basic chod also is not meant for cooking.
I know, but it's not even considered. Meaning, but that's a tanur. I'm saying a hot plate isn't. He's not even considering it. Maybe he's not. I'm saying maybe tanur. Maybe
I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, you have to know. I have to see it's true again inside. Right. I think it's with something else over there because he says that first there's no Semicha there.
Right.
Because
it isn't like it's not heka as a tunnel at all. Whether it's a tunnel with a hope or
you have to find tzuruf into the matter. You can't just say if it's not a place they usually cook, it's mutter.
Right.
That itself cannot be a heter.
Right.
Okay, let's see the Moreh Avram here. Mem beis mutal hamidam afilu Yisrael. If it's warm, even Yisrael is allowed to put an eitzel tana beis hachayrev. Eitzel tana, says the Moreh Avram, aval olav aser. To put on top of the Tana Beis HaChayv is also kivin she'ein gar of a cotton. Since not gar of a cotton. Mashma Lashon Ramah, says the Moreh Avram, that fill litain olav kaidim hesik asa. For Yisrael, You can't do it even before the timer was lit. Kivin de lebesoif here betoichoy eish kazrinan shemicha b'gechalim. Says the Magen Avram that to put something on an oven on Shabbos, and that what?
So this is, but the Magen Avram is saying that he's speaking about Nesina Rishayim.
He's speaking about Nesina Rishayim, yeah. No, lav daf, give it chazara.
But that's a secret shop. We learned it's a secret shop.
No, a Yisrael can't put it there.
I know, because we learned it.
But it's also
that's secret shop.
But it's also the Nesina Rishayim. It means chazara and Nesina Rishayim.
Both of them. Yes.
So he's saying with the garf.
No, we're talking about.
No, who says talking about Nesina Rishayim over here?
We're talking about Chazar.
He's talking about Chazara. This whole sif is talking about Chazara. I will also accuse the government court. Mashal Nosson about the full detail of creative pasuk means Chazara. Here we're talking about taking it out of the tanurim, which is about Tmina Behem. And don't forget, it's still warm. So the Chayr talking about Chazara. Kosh going to see the Chatchila will be also. So it says, "Kivin l'b'seif yivoteicha eish k'zvir Hashem yichata b'gechalim." So the Magen Avram says over here, you want to put something on a stove or in an oven on Shabbos while it's off, and later on it's going to turn on. What's the issur? So till now we said the guy is going to do it for you. There's a problem of Psikresha.
Right.
Here it even says something else even. Tap Psikresha. That's just going to go on by a timer. A timer is going to put it on. It's not a guy. It's a middle of Akim on a timer. Still, Shami Yechata b'Gecholim. Still not a Shami Yechata. So if you put something on the oven before it goes on, and then it goes on Shabbos, you have the same problem, Shami Yechata. You're not allowed to do that. Which I know is a common challenge. People put things in ovens there's a timer, and they put stuff into the oven or into a hot plate, and then it's going to go on an hour later. You can't do that. Same issue. If it's Gor for Kotim, maybe you could. If it's a thing that's Gor for Kotim, then maybe you'd be allowed to do it. Maybe.
So how does that work? The Gor for Kotim work with a radiator?
No, there's no Gor for Kotim on the radiator.
Oh, there isn't. So
no, there isn't Gor for Kotim.
You can't even.
But the radiator, but since you're putting it on next to it, it's not by the fire itself, so that is considered Gor for Kotim.
Oh, it's just beside it. So
yeah, it's Samuch. Okay. It's Samuch. A radiator has a din like Samuch, because the fire is downstairs.
Right.
So it definitely has a din like Gor for Kotim. It says in the Tana Beis Chav, you're allowed to put it next to it. Not on top of it, but next to it.
Oh, next to it, so that is permitted.
So next to it is permitted.
Okay.
But you're not allowed to put it on top of the Beis HaCharif, because even before the fire goes on, because Shem Yichata when it goes on. The world is noig het to bezeh. I'm asking something to Sif Gimel. But it means over here the Olam noig het to bezeh. The Michel speaks out. What's the het of the noig? The Olam noig het to Michel and Sif Cotton Kuf Gimel. It says it's on 48, page 48. 4 lines down. V'olam nagu het litin olav kederes chamim koidim hesek. Before the fire goes on. Once the fire is on, there's no heter to put it on. Before the fire goes on, the olam was noyig ben heter. It says v'ayim mashak savta sif gimel. So says the Mishnah, what does that mean? Yesh kana mashe ismeichu chumashak savta le'el ba'ois pe alef ayin sham. But after the fire goes on, you should not put it chazara on top of it. This is the marul we had before. That you shouldn't put it directly on top of the maziva. Even chazara, you should have a heker. Even though the maziva is not a makom where you cook, still you should have a heker on top of the maziva before you put it back on to the maziva. When the kite high klala be that says the Magen Avram, Chahanach Shiriyusa Maskar Mesin Zeh, any of that Teirim that we have here by Yisrael, Eine Ella B'Tavshel Cham. It's only by a warm Tavshel. Ava B'Tavshel Kar, B'Shad Dvarim Karim, but something that's cold, or anything else that's cold, Ayin Tzimishim Ches. Eiza also Mishum Bishul Daraisa, Ayin Chom. If you want to know if it's Bishul, then you have to go see Tzimishim Ches. Now we're talking about the tafshil was cham. Then the Yisrael could put it on. But if the tafshil was cold, then already you have to see if you have a problem of bishul lachar bishul. Then you should see in Shemesh Yud Ches.
It also seems from this last Ramah that he's holding by the Ran.
Correct. Yeah, the Ramah says over here, I feel nicha gabe karka is mutter. The Ramah,
we saw it before. There it should be machmir.
Yeah. He says, from this Ramah is mashma that is makel with the Ran. 100%. For some reason the Ramah before says, Rach Tov L'Hachmir, he says. Here he doesn't even say Tov L'Hachmir.
Right.
The Master say without Semicha on the Ran. There's one more thing here.
Just one more time on the hot plate then. So assuming the hot plate is gar v'chatam, let's assume.
The hot plate is gar v'chatam, right.
And you put it on from the fridge, the scene l'chatchila, but it's cold. But it's on a timer where it will go on, let's say, in 2 hours or 3 hours. Does that give you...
So that's what the Ramah says.
Is that, yeah.
That's what the Ramah says. You take it. No, you're talking about Chazar here.
That's still Chazar.
You're talking about Chazar, that's what it's in the Chatchila. I don't think so, right?
You're talking about Chazar.
He's talking about Chazar. He's not talking about the sin of the Chatchila, no. The sin of the Chatchila, take something from your fridge and put it on a hot plate with a garf of katum, let's say.
So assume it's a garf of katum and it's cold.
And it's cold, the time is going to go on. No, it should be initial.
What's the issue?
Well, you still have the issue of...
Yeah, I mean, the whole heter here is chazara.
Do you have a hecker there or not? You still have to have the hecker.
Let's say the time
what's it going to help?
Let's say the time will be only for...
the hecker helps
for 20 minutes it will close. That means even it will not come to...
One second.
Only heat a little bit. The timer on and off is for 20 minutes. It will heat for 20 minutes and stop. It will not even come to rotchin.
What?
The Rabbi is saying the oil is not going to
No, that it should not come to rotchin.
One second.
There shouldn't be an issue because you could take something out of the fridge cold, as long as it's davar yavish, and put it onto your hot plate, as long as there's a hecker.
The problem is with
right?
The refrigerator?
From the refrigerator.
You can't. It's sin l'chatchila.
I'm saying if there was a hecker.
It would make a difference. Sin l'chatchila is also. Chazar is mutter. Even garf of katam, everything. After everything is said and done, garf of katam, all that Torah. You can't take something out of your refrigerator and put it on the oven. Because the sin l'chatchila is also. Only chazara is mutter.
You need the upside down pot.
Oh no, something else. Yeah. Upside down pot, because that's the way not to call on top of the fire.
Right.
That's different heter. But the sin l'chatchila, that's what we have to remember. The sin l'chatchila, garf of katam does not work for it. So here what he's saying here, that the Mishnah Berurah learns, on the maziva, which is basically a hot plate, without garf and katum, right, on the maziva itself, before it goes on, the oil was not goheta, he says, okay, leave it. That's chazara. But once it goes on, says the Mishnah Berurah, then you can't put it on directly onto it, you have to have a hecker. But to put something from the refrigerator onto it, they didn't speak about. They didn't speak about it. It should be asa.
The Chayr did not have refrigerators.
The sin l'chatchila is asa l'chayr.
No, but the thing is, but the only reason he's saying it's also is because Shema Yechata. But if there isn't any Shema Yechata because it's a hot plate, so what's the problem? Because garf and katum.
So Chazar is mutter.
No, he's not.
He's not saying they're saying
Chazar is mutter.
I know, but the only problem he's saying is my only issue is here.
Yeah, Shem Yechata.
But this isn't shaykh. If you have a hot plate, it isn't shaykh.
So therefore, a different sin l'chatchila is mutter?
Maybe.
No.
Maybe you can learn from that.
No, because Shem Yechata is only a heter, where there's no Shem Yechata, only a heter for Chazara. In the case of an oven that's garf and katum, there's no Shem Yechata. Forget about hot plate, anything. You have an oven.
Right.
It's garf and katum, there's no Shem Yechata. And the oven is hot. Will that do the sin l'chatchila?
No.
No. Okay.
So the whole Shem Yechata is only talking about a case of Chazara. Something we have to remember. It's a little confusing.
Yeah, because you're making a distinction between an oven and a plata.
Right.
No, but even a plata, let's even say a plata. Don't say mechat in a plata, right?
Right.
The sin l'chatchila is mutter? Where do we find the sinner lechatchila is mutter on a hot area? Where do we find the sinner lechatchila is mutter on a hot area?
The guy does
The guy does it. Or upside down pot is something else.
No.
It's better than going on the right. Right. But only upside down pot or on top of a different pot.
And that's because what? Because then it's no longer Mexican vashon.
Yeah.
That's what that
That's
is.
what. That's not Mexican vashon.
But that's a hot plate. But what's, I mean, if you claim that the hot plate in itself is not Mexican vashon, so
you're saying the hot plate, but we never found that. We never found that a place that's hot, the fire itself, is mutter to put onto it. You have to have a heck between the fire and the pot.
But that's your hot plate.
No, your hot plate
is not touching the.
The heat is touching the pot directly on the hot plate.
No, there is a plate. There is a cylinder.
I mean, you're saying the
fire is there. Then there is a plate.
The upside down pot is the hecker, right?
Yeah.
But I'm saying the thing you put there itself is actually.
It's the hecker. It's not
touching that.
No, but I'm asking why not? Why isn't it considered a hecker? Because I usually put pots there. Why isn't the pot itself?
Isn't that Rabbi Yosef who says that the pot itself is a hecker?
Yeah, well he does.
He says so. I feel again. Sorry. He says so. The pot itself is a hecker.
Right.
What is the difference between the heter of the myril and an upside down pot or a pot that has tapshul in it?
Because myril is saying you put a daf, it becomes gar for cotton. It's a fire that's gar for cotton.
No, but it's on top already. It's gar for cotton.
It's maziva. Maziva holds like the fire itself. If you put a daf on top of it, that's called gar for cotton.
Even the myril says you have to put a daf on top of the
maziva.
Right.
Right. So that's like our blechs. That's our blechs. The myril is our blechs. You put a daf, a hefsek between the machma bishul and the pot.
No, but it can't be because it can't be avlech because avlech is going on something that you would normally cook on.
Yeah. So he holds the myril holds maziva.
But you don't cook on a maziva.
No, the myril holds maziva is not het at all. Maziva is like the fire itself. The myril holds the maziva is like the oven itself.
Which is why you need an upside down pot.
No, before upside down pot. The myril says that even a daf on top of it is good enough.
Okay.
And that's our blechs. The myril holds the maziva is like the fire. That's what he holds. Maziva is like the fire. A daf on top of that is like our blechs that you put on top of it. But only that makes it gorva cotton. Chazara is mutter.
Right.
It doesn't say the lechatchila. The Michel never spoke about the lechatchila. The Michel spoke about chazara.
So l'chayra you would need
to do the lechatchila.
You would need the hecker plus an upside down pot.
Yeah. Right. The upside down pot is a kula that Shlomo Zalman gives. He says that's why it's mutter. Put upside down pot on top of that, it's more.
But the black
on top of a blech.
That's what I mean. But why?
On top of a blech, upside down pot.
Right, but if you have a separate pot.
No, one second. A tafshil is different. No, a pot with a tafshil is directly on the fire. The pot is not the upside down pot.
That's just gar v'kotum.
That's gar v'kotum.
Right.
That's right. Siv Gimel. Kedei rekonis makes a gar v'kotum. You can do chazor. You can't do the sin lechatchila kedei rekonis.
Right.
The upside down pot is a heter. That on top of a gar v'kotum, you put something else upside down pot. They will make them. But kedei rekonis Siv Gimel is not a heter for nesin lechatchila.
No, because you're putting the kedera ala ish mamish. It's like
you're putting on the gar v'kotum. You're putting it on.
What it's going to do is to have a daf on top of your hot plate and a thing on top of it. Then you can put your cold food in it.
Yeah.
There's no problem with that. No?
Well,
even if you see you have hot plate, it's called the gar v'kotum. Then you put an upside down thing on top of the hot plate directly. If you hold the hot plate to gar v'kotum.
Yeah, that's the assumption.
Then, if you hop into gar v'kotum,
right,
then you could turn it upside down tin and put something on top of that.
Right.
But the Rabbi is saying that even without that you could do it.
Right.
You could put it directly on the hot plate.
Because Rabbi says, and
there are posted that hold that the hot plate is not gar v'kotum, so you
right. Yeah.
Upside down pot.
No.
If you hold that it's not if you hold the hot plate it's not gar v'kotum, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't help to put an upside down pot on top of it. Because now you're making it gar v'kotum with the upside down pot, so now you can do chazara.
You sometimes do this in the
yeah, so you put something on top of the upside down pot.
There's three levels we have here.
Okay, right.
There's three levels. We have here a fire. Gar v'kotum you can do chazara. And then, if you want to do a sinner lechatchila, you have to have more than that. Garva kata by itself won't help. So Rabbi wants to say that the hot plate is already the third darga.
Right.
That's his chiddush.
I think it's 2 plus 3. I think he can actually turn around and say. I think maybe he's trying to say that it's 2 plus 3.
What do you mean?
The same thing, meaning that hot plate actually makes it. That's the second and the third darga together, maybe.
Yeah.
He says that the iron bar that is getting heated is away from the the upper level also. So it's already like a blech. Okay, so if you put on that a sheet of foil, it's already heker.
Yeah. But not directly onto the platter then. You have to put silver.
You have to put silver. You have to put silver.
Oh yeah, you hold that with silver on the top.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. That's the halachas here.
Okay. I'm not sure to show bias today.
No, it's a big issue there.
We're not coming to pass the challenge here. We're coming to see the halachas. We're coming to see the halachas. And then the right side of Bavadia is a chiddush.
Rabbi Shannon's got a shiur for ladies.
Yeah. The mindset of Bavadia, I'm telling you why he's a chiddush.
Right.
It's not so partial way saying, of course he's right. He's a right to Paskin. He's not arguing with Bavadia safe. Chas v'sholom. They're saying you have to see where it's coming from.
Right.
You see what the halachas are. The other person who asks it, you understand why they're answering it. He gives a heter. You have to read carefully what his heter is. You can't just say it's not a mocha bishul. It doesn't work that way. Not a mocha. It's not a heter by itself.
After saying that, if you put a platter Shabbos and you put a timer on it, and you put all your things that you mevashel before Shabbos, and the timer goes on and off every, let's say, 1 hour, gets up for 20 minutes and closes, so that your food will not get burnt at all. Is that allowed? Is that allowed? It does not. It gets off every 1 hour. It closes. Then 1 hour it's on. 1 hour
warming the food, not cooking.
Not cooking. Not warming.
Well, that's the whole thing with the platter as opposed to a blech with the platter.
Then you don't need to put it in the fridge.
The issue here is not
No, but you can't put it on. You can't put it on the lechatchila on that. The sin of the lechatchila is awesome.
No, not sin of the lechatchila. You put it from Erev Shabbos.
What's the problem?
And so it will go down. You put the timer will close.
It's fine. For Erev Shabbos, it's fine. I'm talking on Shabbos. Erev Shabbos is fine.
It's going to be dried out though.
Yeah. No, 1 hour yes, 1 hour no, 1 hour yes.
There's a whole shaila, which is I think in the years to come, it's going to become a much bigger shaila. Is all the machines. You have coffee, right? You have coffee machines. Put on a timer.
Right.
And Shabbos morning you'll get these fresh hot coffee. What's the issue?
No, but you're heating up the water.
I'm not heating up the water, but it's a machine.
No, but what's the difference between that and putting a timer for your life? Or you set it before Shabbos, and it goes on Shabbos.
What's wrong? You put water into the coffee machine, you put the coffee, Shabbos morning it goes on,
and it cooks the water. The water's cold.
So what?
You didn't bishul the water.
I'm not doing bishul, I'm telling myself.
Timer, okay.
Timer. You put your pot on a minute before Shabbos, that's mutter.
With a bread maker too.
Right? A bread maker.
That's psikration.
What's a psikration? It's not
water.
No, you're doing it. It's not myself.
But that's like a goy doing it purposely.
So what? It's not happening on Shabbos. A goy is not doing it on Shabbos.
But
you're not doing anything on Shabbos. It's happening by itself.
Machine.
It's happening by itself on Shabbos.
What?
It's happening by itself. What should be after we finish Rishon and Gimel? Okay, is there any issue? Another case, bread maker. Right? You want a fresh challah Shabbos morning. You have a bread maker. You put everything in, the ingredients for every Shabbos. Shabbos at 4 o'clock in the morning, you start mixing it. You come back from Shul Shabbos morning, you have fresh hot challah. What's wrong with that? What's wrong? Is there any issue with that?
The only thing you would have a chashash is maybe it's because mechzer. So somebody walks in that doesn't know.
What's that? What mechzer? What happened to Semicha?
It's on a timer. You're not doing anything.
So what? But let's say you have a timer. 1 second. You have a timer. Let's go back a step.
You cover the knobs.
Yeah. 1 second. You go back a step. You have an oven. Right? An oven, a regular oven. You put your food in the oven before Shabbos.
Yeah.
And on Shabbos, the timer is going to go on. It's going to cook it.
Right.
That's what you're also. That's Semicha. You're not allowed to have food on top of a fire on Shabbos. It's not garba kata. You're not allowed to have that. So that's for sure. You're not allowed to have food on the oven where it is a chash shamichata with no garlic cotton.
Wait a minute. That's
so here.
That's Sifrei, isn't it?
Yeah, that was the whole simmer. Yeah,
okay.
The whole simmer. You can't have. So if it's on a regular fire, and the fire that go on Shabbos, it's definitely awesome. Shamichata. Here the problem is maybe it's not shamichata. Because the coffee maker, what's a shamichata?
When you're cooking food on the Shabbat, you put on fire.
There's timers doing it.
It's like it's right.
You did it this timer.
What's a shamichata? Is there shamichata on a timer?
No.
No. Is there shamichata when the coffee makes itself on Shabbos?
No.
Is there shamichata? There shouldn't be shamichata. Some places may want to say anything that's not cooked on Shabbos, it goes on. You could touch the button shamichata. Let's say we don't go there. Let's say it's no shamichata. So what should be the issue? The shaila came up over here also once, and someone wanted to make a shaila shudas, and they put rice in a tin before Shabbos. Yeah, and they had on Shabbos afternoon. They set a timer. The fire went on, and they cooked up the rice. So shaila shudas, they had fresh hot rice for the sushi. What should be the issue? And it's covered. There's no. It's going for cotton. Is there any issue on that? Is there any issue?
But the whole idea of gorfa cotton is that nothing will actually be cooked. But if you're doing it chatchila,
it's gorfa.
Even though it's gorfa cotton, but the whole idea of why we doing gorfa.
Yeah.
What's the whole idea about?
Show that you're misalik kedasa.
That we're not.
Yeah, you're not misalik kedasa.
Exactly.
Okay, good. It's a good svara. Says Garaf Katam is before Shabbos do Garaf Katam, and you're showing that you're Misal Dasamit because you're not going to touch it anymore. Here, just the opposite. You're making it go on Shabbos to show that you want to cook on Shabbos. The whole idea of Garaf Katam is that everything is set, that it's going to cook by itself.
So you're not cooking, you're doing
okay, that's Torah. I know there are poskim that are not in such a case, that you want to put your rice on Erev Shabbos, and it's the fire is going on Shabbos, it's Garaf Katam, the uphill that are matter it. But most of the poskim answer it, and they give different reasons. But the common denominator is that there has to be an isser, because there's not going to be an isser that everyone's house Shabbos is going to have fresh hot coffee, fresh challah, fresh rice. You can't do that. So not yet. Not yet. So I asked this question to Rabbi Miller. I asked him. He says it's us. I said why? I need a reason why it's awesome. He has told me it's awesome. So he came with an unbelievable svara. And he says, there's a Ran in Shabbos, Avdalad. The Ran says that when you put pas on a tanner, or anything, you put anything to cook, Erev Shabbos, Kiddush Chaisa, right? It's mutter to eat it on Shabbos. Kiddush Chaisa, even if it's not Garva Kotum. And if it's Garva Kotum, it's not fully cooked, it's only started cooking, it's also mutter. Why is it mutter? It's mukta. Bein HaShmoshes, you can't eat this food. Bein HaShmoshes, this food is unedible. It's a dough. Right? It's unedible. It's going to cook over Shabbos. So we know the klal, some that's mukta Bein HaShmoshes, is mukta the whole Shabbos. So Bein HaShmoshes, when Shabbos started, this food is mukta, says the Ran, that how could you eat it on Shabbos? It should stay mukta the whole Shabbos.
How's it with your coffee?
Good.
Say with coffee.
You have it in a muktzah by
coffee you can't drink now. It's powder.
One second. But by Kiddush Chaisa, it's muktzah too.
Yeah, Kiddush Chaisa. That's like Kiddush Chaisa. That's the Ran's kasha. I'll tell you about it in a second. That's the Ran's kasha.
With coffee, you could take coffee powder and pour water through it on Shabbos.
No, you can't. You have to cook it. You take the coffee you have in the machines. The only way it becomes coffee is you pour boiling hot water over it.
Yeah.
Right. So that's muktzah. You can't put boiling hot water over that coffee.
You have
another glishlich.
Yeah. Food. You have raw meat in your freezer on Shabbos. It's muktzah. You're not touch it.
Why isn't instant coffee muktzah then?
Because instant coffee, you could prepare it on Shabbos without being over an issur. This coffee you have in the coffee machine, you're going to pour some hot water to it, not whatever hot water from the kettle. It's gonna. You have to pour the hot water through it and do boiler and do whatever you have to do over there. So the Ran answers over there. The Ran says that it's mutter because since it started the cooking process already, So now, bein hashmoshes that it's cooking already, it says if it's cooked. It's not muktzah. Because since
but that isn't kiddush chaisa. Kiddush chaisa, we said even if you cook it a little, it's no good.
No, but it's cooking already.
No, but kiddush chaisa.
Yeah. But Shabbos comes in, the fire's on.
Yeah, I know, but the kiddush chaisa, the meat itself hasn't been cooked yet. If you even
I know. It's not cooked at all, but it's on the fire already. It's on the fire. It started cooking already. So once it started cooking already, it's in the middle of the cooking process. Even though it's just in the beginning, it's not muktzah anymore.
So it takes away muktzah.
So it takes away
muktzah.
How do you apply that to a coffee or a dough or something?
No, so it says therefore by coffee and a dough, it didn't start cooking yet. So you have a problem with muktzah. So maybe you're stuck with a muktzah problem. That's what I want to say. That's why it's also.
That's what I'm showing.
Yeah. You're stuck with a muktzah problem. A bishul, shia, chazara, that's that. It's hard to answer it. For muktzah it is.
But by rice, one second. But by rice.
So, rice you can't eat bein hashmoshes. So go on Shabbos afternoon.
Oh, it wasn't cooked yet.
No, it wasn't cooked yet.
But that's impossible because by rice, by rice, to cook rice you need water.
Yeah, it's in the water. You put the rice in the water erev Shabbos. And it's cooking on Shabbos. So what's wrong? What's wrong with it?
The machine is cooking.
What's wrong with it? You're not doing anything. The machine is going on. So the machine goes on, lights go on Shabbos.
I can put my urn on a time switch.
Yeah.
And it'll go on for shalosh.
Yeah, so an urn is something else. So if some water that you could drink, the way it is, it's not muktzah. So you put your water in an urn, and the urn's going to go on Shabbos afternoon. According to this, maybe it's mutter.
Oh, I thought you were talking about reheating the rice.
No, it's
cooking.
Wow. Maybe it's a din of Norlu. You couldn't eat it before in its original state. Now on Shabbos, you created something that's edible.
And why? And erev Shabbos we put kiddush chaisa because it started.
Right.
But so same thing.
But the rice shiloh.
Also, maybe it's noilu.
You say it's also noilu.
Maybe noilu by itself it could be as mutter. No, you can't. That's what the Rabbi says over here. So you gotta pour the hot water onto it to make noilu. But if there's a noilu that happens by itself, it doesn't make a muktzah. If you make a noilu, you can't use it. But a noilu that happens by itself. Could be it's mutter.
That's what he said by dishes.
By dishes. That's what you have to put the dishes into the water because you're not doing the noilu. You just put it in. Then it's not happening by itself.
So the rice is like that.
So maybe the rice is like that. Maybe.
You're still stuck with mutter.
Still stuck with mutter.
You can have a hot rice.
So we got a sidetrack there, but it's good to know. Someone asked you today. The child will come up a lot more because more and more machines are coming out, and more things working time is. And you're going to have a lot of questions coming, challah and coffee and rice.
So who are those supposed material of this kind of thing?
I don't want to say names. I know the shadow came up. What is
the heter?
Yes, what's the heter then?
Why?
Yeah. How do they?
How do they get around muktzah?
Yeah.
How do they matter this particular case?
Yeah, right.
How do they get around muktzah?
Yeah. In other words,
they say it's maybe similar to the case of the Ran. Because it is going to get cooked. You right, didn't start cooking yet, but it's all set, ready to cook.
So that's the process.
Yeah, maybe. I'll say something like that.
There you go. No, you started the process.
The
process.
Right.
The rice is getting salted.
That's it.
Maybe.
That's right.
As I said, and what did he say there?
Jonathan, to you I say it's awesome. No, to go about something like this, it's just going to get out of hand.
Right.
There are people that do it today. The person that today to go ahead and have your hot coffee, your fresh brewed coffee Shabbos morning. I know people that do it.
Right.
I know people that do it. They have fresh brewed coffee Shabbos morning.
And it's on the timer.
On a timer. So your matter is very hard.
That's why Moshe didn't like timers altogether.
Yeah, but Moshe asked the timers totally, and he says, "You're right. It's avsha milsa. Avsha milsa means." You can see work. You can see lights going on and machines cooking in people's houses. It's not Shabbos. You can't do it. So Moshe asked it even time clocks, even for lights. He asked everything because of that. So we're not going to go like a Moshe. We're not going to schomer because of Moshe, but to go ahead and to matter all these things, it's very hard. Okay, I'm going to try track there. It's 10:15. I think we'll have to stop there. Okay, Reish and Dalet. We'll start Reish and Dalet next week.